Hello, this is the issue of trying to get my backup camera to work with my new radio. Now, you can see here that that's what the camera is, and that's the wiring that's hooked up to it. And there's quite a few wires. You can see the various different colors. Okay, now looking at the radio itself. This is what the original radio looked like, okay? And on the back of it, there are three connectors, or three big connectors. This one here is now plugged in here. This one here is now plugged in here. And this one here is dangling free. It's not connected to anything. And I understand this is the one that's got the backup camera signal on it, not the power. The power goes to it separately. But this is three wires, and they're not coaxial. So it's that alternative balanced thing, but it's not coaxial. And that's what came into here. You might notice this has got no place to go on the new wiring harness. However, the original harness that was sent to me did have two such connectors. That one there and that one. The two white connectors that are in here. This one here and that one there. Both of which have got a cam in signal on them. Now, as it turns out, the bigger one is the one that would fit that, but it's got its pins. The pins are in the wrong locations. See that? But it does have the coaxial cable coming out of it, which I understand is not suitable for my radio, because it's coming out of here is not a coaxial signal. And you see the wires are just, I think that's 1, 2, and the other side there, one opposite to it. So it's not coaxial. So it's not. It doesn't go directly to a yellow plug. And again, with the new harness, there's no connector for it at all whatsoever. Now, a bit of history. With the original cable, it would not trigger. The transmission in reverse signal was not getting through to the car, or actually not getting through to the new radio. Now the new radio, right there's the identification of it. Anyway, the new radio was missing a wire. Sorry, the original harness was missing one wire that is now on this one, and it's tagged up with a little special arrangement. There it is. Here's the fix that's really, I noticed difference that makes it trigger now. And this one here is got this little loop on it, and it definitely goes to 12 volts when the transmission's in reverse. And now that signal is being passed back into, following this gray wire up into this black connector, which was not in the original connector. See, that one was not in the original connector. So that's what makes it trigger. But unfortunately, the signal, the backup camera signal, which is on this line, has got nowhere to connect in. Now, mind you, I do have a couple of cam ins that are male. There's another cam in, but I've only got one female one, which goes into this connector down in there, underneath. Goes into that connector down in there. So that's the only input I've got that tells me this is where the video is supposed to go. But again, that one doesn't work when I hook it up. It doesn't give me a signal. Neither does that one. Now, I have another one which is called auxiliary video net. I tried hooking those up as well, and it still didn't give me a video. So that's the big problem right now. Oh, another side issue is that when it comes to the audio, where's the audio cables? Yeah, the audio front, I've ended up hooking it up to what it says rear out here because there doesn't seem to be any other inputs to it, which doesn't seem right. Again, there is no cable with matching labels on it. Now, I don't know if it needs any of this connection because it's got this box, which is doing a lot of interpreting on it for us. So again, the big issue right now, well, most of the radio works quite well. But again, it doesn't work. It doesn't get the video signal, which requires this connector, and there is no place here. Now, keep in mind again, this video signal here, if I got it right, that this is a video signal, it's not a coaxial. So it's not just a matter of putting a coaxial cable on there, like what the original harness tried to do. It has to be converted from that balance signal, I think it's called, to a coaxial one before it can go into these things. So there's a couple issues. There's also another side issue there too, at the volume control. I understand it works through this CAN bus thing off the steering wheel. Okay, most of the time it works, but occasionally it just doesn't work. The absolute quiet, no sound at all in the radio. Other times, if I turn the sound all the way down using that same control and then back up again, it recovers. Or other times I'm trying to turn it up and it doesn't increase the volume when I'm turning it up. So I turn it down a little bit, then back up again, and suddenly it works a lot better. So there's something a little flaky with the CAN bus connection, in addition to not properly using the video signals coming from the built-in harness, from the built-in camera. Now, in addition to that, just trying to find a way to get past the problem, I have this separate. Actually, I bought this as a front cam, but it's also possible for it to work as a rear cam as well. And I tried hooking it up. I hooked the red wire, to that signal that comes from the transmission that's on this little cable here. And so I know it was getting powered, and I used a voltmeter to prove that it was getting powered. But even with this cable and this coaxial connection hooked into that connector, it still did not give me a video signal. So that's a bit of an issue right now. Or maybe there's three issues there. One is that the cable that I think provides the backup cam signal is not being utilized, and it requires a converter to change it from this balanced mode, I think it's called differential mode. I forgot what they call that, but it's not coaxial, so that it will get into this coaxial video input. Okay, so that basically describes this radio. Most of it seems to work very nicely. I'm very pleased with it in every way, except that I can't get the backup camera to work. And again, I'm a little concerned about that. I'm a little concerned about the volume control. I'm also somewhat concerned about the complexity of this radio, how to actually operate it. And there's almost no information available on how to use the radio itself. And I've heard people tell me that there is ways of getting into the radio to make sure, for example, it's using the right video input format. But I can't get past the security of this thing, or whatever it is, to find out how the camera is set up. Is it set up for North American standard, or is it set up for the European standard, the PAL system? In any case, the video doesn't work, but everything else seems to work quite well. All right, that's the story. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help on getting this thing to work. Bye for now.